Now, whenever I make a video about Brexit, and I'm always pro-Brexit, by the way, I'm always anti-EU because I believe, as is evident, that the EU are behaving like a mafia gang. They are a protectionist, racketeering group who are out to plunder member states of their sovereignty and their money. They're very restrictive, and it's like Old Testament type. Think of the member states as mankind, and the EU is God, Old Testament's God. Well, the Old Testament God is vengeful, isn't he? He's not very forgiving. It's something or an entity you don't really cross, and punishes at the drop of a hat and asks you to sacrifice everything, and that there's no God but him. And this is the EU, that's their behaviour. So anyway, I made a video about Brexit last night, and it was regarding the 14-hour delays at the Dover port because the French EU officials were being rather overzealous with the passport checks. Now, every now and again when I do these videos about Brexit, there's always some EU fanatic, some Europhile coming on here, and they're always condescending, these people. They're never polite, straight to the fact, and offer debate and argument, and they want to know your opinions. They're always right, you're always wrong, and the EU is God. As far as these people are concerned, they are fanatics, and there is no debating them. You can try, but they always revert to hateful vitriol, and the usual tropes come out. You're a Nazi, you're a xenophobe, and it's just because you voted the wrong way. All right, that's what these people are like. Anyway, so this arsepipe called Paul is doing the rounds in the comment section of that video right now, and he's crying about some additional checks that everyone has to go through when they visit the European Union now from Britain. If you're crossing over the channel, if you're going to Dover, at any point of entry, it's additional checks. Everyone knows this, he says, and he's offering to draw people a diagram. And are we that ignorant we don't understand? It's the usual condescending bullshit from this guy. So if you've popped onto the comment section of that video and you agree with me, then he's on there giving you all a guy of a hoftwat. All right, as standard behaviour. So looking into it, and I've been over to the mainland myself ever since Brexit. All right. Now, when we were members of the EU, you did the old passport wave. You waved your passport in front of officials, and they let you through. And every now and again, or whenever they felt like it, they would just check your passport. And that's it. They'd open your passport, check your photo, ask what your business is in the EU, and then give it a stamp. And that's the difference now that we're out. We've done Brexit, we're out of the EU, kind of. They do that to everyone now. They don't get the old, the wave, you don't get that convenience anymore. They check your passport, they check your photo, they ask you what your business is, and then they put a stamp in it. And that's it. So, old Paul is just fear-mongering. He wants Britain to fail. They would rather see you and me suffer some great disaster and famine caused by Brexit, even though Brexit doesn't cause a great disaster and famine. They want people dying on the streets just so they're proved right. That's what these people are like. And he's scaring people. Well, he's trying to. My viewers and subscribers are too smart for the likes of Paul and his fellow Europhile EU fanatics, and they're not buying it because they know it's not true. Because this guy is trying to convince people that you have to fill in an encyclopedia worth of paperwork, get strip searched, a cavity search, your car gets dismantled, drug dogs, questionnaire, and every person has to go through all this for a couple of hours before they're let through, which is utter nonsense, of course. He wishes that were the case. He really does. He wants that to happen because he wants to be right so much, when sadly for him and his ilk, the truth being the inconvenience is just an extra couple of minutes, and that's it. I mean, I have to suffer this every weekend with a family friend who literally blames everything on Brexit, and his Facebook page is just vile hatred towards people who voted for Brexit, and I don't understand where this hate comes from. I really don't. And could you imagine the state of Britain and Brexit if all these hyper fanatics, these hyper EU fanatics, just accepted the vote in 2016 and all mucked in to make Brexit work for everyone? But they won't, will they? And that's, you know, therein lies the problem. It's them. It doesn't work because they won't allow it to work, because they don't want it to work. And just one more point regarding my video on the Dover 14-hour queues. Now, it's that time of year, isn't it? It's Easter. And the French EU passport officials, they know at this time of year they get extra traffic, extra people wanting to cross over into the continent and spend their holidays and their money and have a nice time in Europe. So why on earth did they have a contingency plan to deal with this and draft in extra officers? I mean, if the EU is so perfect and good, like the likes of Paul will tell you, then they're thick as mince if they're just going to have a skeleton crew or skeleton staff to deal with such an event as this. And so do we really need to be part of an organisation that can't plan ahead of the future? Of course we don't. And also, around 10, 13 years ago, I used to go regular to Carrefour in Calais and do some shopping. And like everyone else, get some extra booze because it was cheaper. And sometimes I'd be in the queue in Dover for hours as well. So, you know, not much has changed. And so, in conclusion, if you're on Twitter and in your name you have hashtag FBPE, it doesn't mean fuck Brexit pro EU. It means full-blown psychotic episode. And you need to deal with stuff. You really do. Anyway, that's my video. Cheers, Paul, for providing material for this. I do appreciate it. And there we go. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and sharing my stuff everywhere. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and the lefties hate it, especially people like EU fanatics Paul. And that's that. Until the next time, have a great day, look after yourselves, and Roger Trout.